Welcome back into episode number cinco here with Bass and the Bear, soon to be award winning Bass and the Bear. It's Bro Therapy. I am Bryce Sparling. I am the Bass. He is the Bass. I am the Bear. How you doing, Casey? How's your week been, man?
What's up, homie?
Not much, dude.
Good. I mean, it's early. It's early in the week, so we will hope that it continues to progress in a positive situation. But yeah, we're good. I got ball tonight.
Oh, there you go.
Region baseball at Bremen High.
Who they got?
They got a Daresville, and there's a lot going on in that region. So you've got Ringgold number one. Ringgold's a legit state champion contender.
I was about to say they're undefeated in the region right now, right? I think.
No,
Oh, they're
they have
not.
one loss.
Oh, okay. I didn't
And that
know.
loss is to Bremen.
That's good. That's a good win to have under your belt if you're Bremen. I like that.
And then you got Gordon Lee at number two, who has two losses. And then you have Bremen at number three, who has three losses because they lost just a stupid baseball game to Ridgeland that they should not have lost. Ridgeland's
What was I
they're a
say?
decent team, but they're
That you
not.
called that one, or no? That was
Yeah.
up in Ridgeland. Yeah, you called that one.
No, I called it.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, okay. That was the game we were going to come out to. That was the second game of a doubleheader, right? I think. Yes, I remember that
Yes, and
game.
Bremen won the first game by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah. We were going to come out to it because Braxton just got out of practice, and I was like, "Hey, you want to go watch Bremen?" And I looked at the first game, and I'm like, "Oh, by the time we get out there, that game's going to be over. Bremen's going to run rule them." And yeah, little bit of an odd topsy turvy doubleheader there.
It was weird, but Bremen has split with Ridgeland, Ringgold, and Gordon Lee. And Ridgeland and Gordon Lee play each other twice this week.
Ooh,
So if Bremen wins out, Bremen should be the 2 seed.
that's good. It's home playoff game right there in round one.
Which I'll be honest, Ringgold's probably the better baseball team.
Yeah.
However, Bremen's proven they can beat them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in baseball playoffs, just because you're a little bit better team doesn't mean you're going to win. Like on paper, just because you're a better team on paper doesn't mean you're going to win. For Bremen to get that 2 seed though and get a home playoff for the guy who's calling the games, first off, it's a big deal because they're against Region 7 up in the mountains. And so you don't want to go to Chattanooga.
No.
So yeah, big game tonight. Got to win 2 against Adairsville, and that's what I'm gonna be doing this afternoon.
Do you know what seed they were in the playoffs last year?
No,
they weren't. So
they didn't make it.
Yeah, big. That'd be a nice improvement, man. To go from not in the playoffs last year to this year, if they can get to that 2 seed and host a playoff game like that. That's awesome, man. That's great.
But listen, your top 4 teams in that region are Ringgold at 1, Gordon Lee at 2, Bremen at 3, Adairsville at 4. Region losses. Okay. Ringgold's got 1, Gordon Lee's got 2, Bremen's got 3, Adairsville's got 4. And those dudes play each other twice. So anything can happen this week. This is the week.
That's about how Central's region is. I don't know exactly what the standings are, but I know Central's region is like super muddied like that. Like and so is Carrollton's. Like Carrollton has to wait around to see if East Coweta beats Westlake this week to see if Carrollton's the region champ. So yeah, it's getting super muddied for a lot of the teams that we cover in baseball.
It stinks for Bremen. Had they not stubbed their toe at Ring with that Ridgeland game, they'd have a legitimate shot at winning a region championship, but they don't. They can't win the region, but they can get the 2 seed. And if they hadn't stubbed their toe there, they'd pretty much have that 2 seed sewn up. Maybe Gordon Lee beats Ridgeland for 1 game, but there's no way they beat them twice.
Where's the game at? Do you know off the top of your head?
The Gordon Lee game?
The Gordon Lee Ridgeland game.
I don't know.
Because if it's at Ridgeland, then I would bet dollars to donuts that it's going to be senior night. And magic
can happen.
Anything can happen on senior night. Let me tell you something that's even stupider, Casey.
What? Stupider word? Is that real?
We just made it up if it's not. Dumber, more stupid. I'm going to go.
No, stupider works.
Go stupider. Villarica has pretty much starched everybody in the region that they've played. Like they have just destroyed everybody in this region. If they lose this series versus Jackson, 2-1, Villarica is the runner-up in the region.
Well, let's be honest. There's only 2 baseball teams in that region.
That is very true. Well, Chapel Hill's
and it's the 2 you just mentioned.
And Midtown's okay. Chapel Hill and Midtown are okay.
Okay, we're talking about okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Villa Rica's the number 2 team in the state. So we're
yeah.
talking about real baseball. And I saw Jackson. Jackson's good.
They are. They're very good. They're very good.
Jackson's got 2 legitimate aces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have anything after those 2 guys, but they have 2 legitimate aces, and they have a catcher who made one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen. So much so that Verlin Best was impressed, like
Whoa.
legit impressed. This kid, there's a runner on third, and it's a close game. And it's a super wild pitch, fastball to the top of the backstop.
Ooh.
And this dude goes from dead crouch straight up in the air and snags this ball. And I'm telling you right now, he could have touched the top of the square on the backboard. And what I love about Jackson is it's a baseball program. They had a really good baseball coach. And after the game, I was talking to him and I just said, man, that was one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen a catcher make. And he leaned into me and he said, please don't tell him that. He doesn't need to hear that.
He doesn't need any more. Doesn't need any
he's
more.
good. He's good. Don't tell him that.
I haven't gotten to see Jackson yet this year because you did the one game when they were coming to Villa Rica. So this is my first time I've gotten to lay eyes on them. I've seen their record, I see their stats and everything, but it's going to be interesting because I know Coach Wade Bailey has talked really highly about Jackson, Midtown, and Chapel Hill this year about how good those teams are in the region. So
Jackson's got maybe the best uniform combos in the state of Georgia.
I saw those. I saw the pictures of them on.
They look good.
Preps. Yeah, they're good looking. I like Mays. Mays had a nice uniform combo, like the gray,
like
and baby blue. Almost.
Baby blue.
Yeah, it was a nice combo, dude.
What'd they do with the yellow?
It was like
piping.
Stitching. Yeah, the piping on the outline. It looked good. I've always been partial to Lithia Springs colors. I don't know why, but something about the green and gold just works.
We played a game against Mays.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school in football. And I don't remember if the stadium was at Mays or if it was a city, whatever, but they had taken the old AstroTurf out of the dome and put it down out there. So not only, and we have played on the turf at the dome, like it's awful. Now it's field turf, but AstroTurf stinks to play on. The problem is that was inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This was not.
Ooh.
There were ants
Oh.
everywhere. I played 4 quarters of football in an ant pile while bleeding from the AstroTurf. I'm sure we won the game. I don't remember anything else except for the surface and the ants.
Old AstroTurf was the worst thing ever invented.
Yes.
I don't know how people play. We played on the old. No, we played a little bit after you, but it was like carpet. Like it was 002. We made it to the dome, and it was like playing on carpet with concrete under it. It was.
Did you ever find a manhole?
No.
I was running down on a punt. And I dove for a cat and missed him. And my knee hit something. It went,
oh.
And the back judge was standing right there. And I looked up. I said, what was that? And he said, man, that's a manhole.
What in the world?
I was like, you're kidding me. He was like, no, man, that's a manhole. Get up. You all right? Like he was worried about me. He's like, you all right?
You know, everybody that's listens to our podcast knows my stance on artificial turf. I hate it. I hate it. God gave us grass. Use grass. That's,
Field turf, though, is a much better use of it. My problem is the field turf that they put the rubber pellets down on. Those rubber pellets are ground up tires.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the United States of America, almost nothing is as regulated as old tires. Like the federal government has decided there is a certain way in which you have to get rid of these things.
Yes.
Because they're toxic.
Like oil.
But apparently one of the ways you can get rid of the toxic tires is to grind them up, put them out on a surface, and let kids run around and dive on it and get it all their orifices.
All day.
I don't know if there's any science behind what I'm saying, but it just don't feel right to me. What we doing?
Yeah. There was a oh man, I was talking to our good buddy Matt Skinner out at Carrollton, and he was telling me about the new turf that they got out there, and it's something different than like the tires. Yeah, he was telling me about it, and I was like, "That's awesome, dude."
It's AI generated. It's Carrollton, so
Carrollton,
like
essentially,
there's no telling. They probably printed it. Matt Skinner's probably printing it out in his office on a 3D printer, and then they've got a crew of 6 guys that walks out there and puts every square down
Just
and makes
that
sure it's
masterpiece.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah. That
We
sounds.
love the Carrollton Trojans, but boy, do we pick on them.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
that's, you know
Yeah.
what, Carrollton? Listen, when you're at the top of the mountain and you got everything that you could ever want, we're proud of you because that means the kids do. But we're gonna come. We're gonna
We're
pick
still
on
gonna
you.
pick on you. Absolutely. I love a lot.
Have you been?
There's a
Have you
ton
been
of people.
in there?
The
Have you been in
facility.
the indoor?
Oh yeah, yeah. Matt gave me a tour of it. Before last football season, we went and interviewed Joey King. By the way, phenomenal dude. Like that's the first
Who's better than Joey King?
dude. I was blown away by just I don't know how humble and normal the dude is because like you're the head coach of the Carrollton Trojans. Like that's massive. That's a massive job. But dude, Joey was I could have sat there and talked all day to that guy. I loved Joey King, man. Really humble, really awesome. But yeah, Skinner
Forget it.
through.
Forget head coach of the Carrollton Trojans. There's a chance that in an 8-year period, he was the high school football coach for 2 number 1 overall draft picks.
And one of the
Quarterback.
greatest quarterbacks in college in high school history in Georgia, in Trevor Lawrence.
You've never what Trevor Lawrence did at Cartersville cannot be oversold. The things that kid did on a football field. I saw him roll out one time. He's rolling out, getting chased to the right to his throwing arm side, almost to the sideline, and throws a go all the way across the field to the other sideline and hits the cat in stride. There was nobody around him. Why would they be covering that guy? Touchdown.
Yeah, that's absurd.
He threw that ball 70 yards. He was 17 years old. I went, I've seen enough.
Yep.
Tells me all I need to
On
know.
Sundays. He's going to play on
Yeah.
Sundays. The only people that I've ever seen, I've never seen Trevor live, and the only people that I've ever seen that look like Trevor tape wise, I remember Gunnar Stockton when he was in high school. Like that dude impressed me a ton when he played, and the old Cuzzy that played for the Christian school this year. I don't remember the high school he played for. I don't even remember the kid's name. But he was Philo, Aaron Philo. I think that was his name. But
I don't know him.
they won the state championship, and he set the record for most touchdown passes like in a career in high school or in a season or something like that. Kid is talented, but yeah. So
I saw Gunner 3 times. I got to call his first ever high school start against Bremen at Georgia Southern. And my takeaway on Gunner Stockton is he's just the most football-y football player ever.
dude's a baller.
He's at Georgia as a quarterback, unless his daddy, who was in the Hall of Fame at Georgia Southern University, decided he was a linebacker. Then he'd have been at Georgia as a linebacker. If they'd have decided he was a tight end, he'd be at Georgia as a tight end. If they'd have wanted him to play center, he'd have put on 50 pounds and he'd be at Georgia as a center. The kid is the truth.
Yeah.
He's a kid as a lineman. He's a quarterback you want in your huddle. You want to go into battle with that guy. You will follow that guy. That's Gunner Stockton. Big fan.
Yeah. I loved watching him, dude. That kid was insanely impressive in town. All right, Casey, Bro Therapy, what is your first rant for the week?
I don't know. I got to dig in. You're still laggy. Am I lagging? Are we lagging on your side?
You're all good.
All right, your side's the only side that matters.
I got a cheap camera. That's what it is. I bet probably because I got to upgrade my camera game.
I have a hometown sports media tablet. It's probably what it is.
That's your camera on your tablet better than my camera on my PC. My camera I bought on my PC is like 8 years old.
I'm talking about the processing power.
Oh, maybe.
That's it's not a camera thing. It's the audio and the video that keeps going out on my end. But as long as it's good on your end,
that's what it is. It's too much sexiness coming through. It can't process it. That's what it is.
Let's start at where your hat's from, at Augusta National. All right. Say man at the counter. I don't really have a rant about Augusta National. You probably never get one of those out of me. It's the most perfect place in the world. I was irritated a little bit that the tournament was so boring. I went to my buddy's house for the weekend. I'll get there. Boring by master standards. I went to my buddies for the weekend. College pals. We ate all the food, and we watched the Masters for 3 days. So we did. It was a great weekend. And when Bryson puts up the 7 under, right? They're all going nuts. They're Bryson DeChambeau fans. I'm not. They're going bananas. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, guys, he's not going to win. There's zero chance that Bryson DeChambeau wins this Masters or any Masters in the next couple of years unless he undergoes a major transformation of not just his style of golf, but his personality. Now, that being said, almost every other golf tournament on earth, he's got to be a top 3 favorite to win it.
For sure.
But not this one. Because Bryson is a cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
He is a machine. And he has built his game to be a machine. His putting stroke looks like a mechanical putter that you see, at Titleist or wherever they're testing Scotty Cameron's on purpose. Now, at Augusta National, one of the great things about it is it's the only golf course that I know of on tour. It's not technically on tour, but the professionals play at where not only do they not give you a slope book that tells you what the slope is on every green, you're not allowed to have a laser on the greens and measure it yourself.
It's the only one.
So you have got to, I swear I'm not taking a swipe at Bryson. Bryson has built his game to be efficient and successful. This is not a course for that. This is a course for Seve Ballesteros. This is a course for artists. This is a course for poets. This is a course for imagination. This is a course for weird guys who take their shoes off and walk on the green and feel it with their toes. You just know which way the grain's going at 2:00 versus the wind. And if there's a roar 3 holes over, how it's going to affect the line of your putt. I was once at Augusta National, and I'm sitting on the ground at 18, practice round, me and Kevin Collins, having a sandwich and a $2 beer, probably. And Jack Nicklaus is coming up playing in on 18. We're just watching, just sitting, chilling, having a sandwich and watching Jack.
There's nothing better.
And Jack gets in the bunker on the backside of 18. And, they're all just hitting shots out of wherever.
Yeah.
He crawls into the bunker and he crawls right back out of the bunker and walks up to the top and starts pointing fingers in an aggressive fashion. And the next thing I know, people start showing up in green jackets to him. And he starts pointing in the bunker. And 4 or 5 minutes later, there are dudes in buggies with rakes and sand, quartz, working on this bunker. Like Jack got in the bunker. He's not competing in the event. They went, this is not acceptable. And they just descended upon it. And in 10 minutes, they changed this bunker completely. And Jack goes, all right, and walked off.
He just knew it.
Like, that's what we're talking about.
He just knew what we're not supposed to be.
He just knew. He got in it and was like, nope, this ain't right. And they were like, well, we trust you, so let's fix it.
Yeah.
Right? Bryson doesn't have the feel for it. He just, and I knew it. He went out and put up a score and then did not shoot under par the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So I looked at them and I said, Bryson's not going to win. Scotty's going to win, and it's not going to be exciting. So what's going to happen? And sure enough, we've got it set up on Sunday to be like the greatest Masters ever, sitting on 7 or 8 with 4 or 5 guys tied for the league or the lead. And I'm going, it's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. None of these guys are going to move. Scotty's going to get 2 or 3 or 4 more birdies, and it's going to be anticlimactic, and he's going to win because Scotty Scheffler is the best golfer on earth by a long ways.
100%.
There's nobody close to him.
Yep.
He's got everything he needs from the middle game to the short game to the long game to putting to whatever. That guy's just got it. And he's so stoic. He's not very exciting to watch. Like, he's great golf to watch, but he's not Tiger and fist pumping and pointing at people. And it's not Scotty. Afterwards, he will be. But nobody would chase him. Like, nobody could get anything going. And you look at the list of the guys who it was, and you never heard of any of them. And you're like, well, I mean, just golf is in a weird spot where
there's one dude.
I didn't realize that Ricky Fowler hadn't been in a Masters since 2020.
No, Ricky Fowler completely rebuilt his swing, and he was terrible for about a year and a half to 2 years, and he's finally started to get it back, and he's been playing much better golf over the past 9 to 10 months. But
Rory hasn't won a major in 14 years.
Well, that's going to continue, and Rory will never win a Masters.
But he was the promised one, and then maybe Ricky, and then maybe Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
And then maybe
Justin Thomas.
And then Justin Thomas.
Yep.
Who I'm a big fan.
I love Justin
Huge
Thomas.
fan.
Yeah.
Great player. And make a check, go home with your family. And I'm okay with that. Right? I want to be clear about that. In order to be Tiger, you have to be obsessed. And that's not healthy for anybody. And I think the first person that would tell you that is Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Now the time he gets to spend with his son.
He's
realizing this is way better.
That's beautiful about Tiger Woods nowadays is what he is for the game. Tiger was out of it. All right. Really good Thursday and Friday. I was insanely impressed. Saturday sucked. Sunday wasn't much better. But what Tiger is to the game now, an ambassador, like, on Sunday, him walking up with the amateur, Neil Shipley from Ohio State, go Bucks. Him yucking it up with Shipley and talking to him, like, that doesn't happen 8 years ago. That doesn't happen 10 years ago. Tiger is going to be laser focused. And him going over there and talking to Vern Lundquist on 16 before taking the shot, and like,
yeah,
the demeanor Tiger has now towards the game is absolutely phenomenal. It's gorgeous. It's great. I love to see it. And I don't know. I guess it's all of us growing up, but seeing Tiger be like that is just cool.
Here's what's gonna happen. Here's my prediction. Okay. Right now, there's one golfer in the world who is the dominant force.
Scotty Scheffler.
That's Scotty Scheffler. However, that's about to change. One of the reasons that, in my opinion, Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy, Rory specifically at the front of my brain, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Thomas, haven't reached their quote-unquote potential of greatness, is because I feel like those guys have figured out a work-life balance. Rory met a woman, fell in love, got married, and we didn't hear from him again.
True.
He's a millionaire, making a ton of money. They pay him to not win at Live.
No, Rory's not at Live.
Good for you, buddy. I'm not mad at, or is he?
Rory's still on the tour.
Is he not? Okay, so he has so much money.
There was a report
that he can say no to Live.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, why wouldn't you go now?
Why wouldn't you go now? $890 million is the reported number that they're
$1 billion bucks.
Rory. Yeah.
To not win.
To play.
Just show up.
3 rounds. 3 rounds. It's not even 4 rounds. Yeah. 3 rounds, and it's like
it's a short field. Everybody makes a cut. Everybody gets paid.
Yeah. Everybody's in shorts. Yeah. There's a report.
Everything's an exhibition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, essentially.
So anyway, they figured out work-life balance. Scotty Scheffler has made it clear that his family and his faith are the most important things to him. Mm-hmm. He's about to be a daddy.
This week or next week.
He would have left on 17 if they'd have called him. They wouldn't have called him.
That's
he's got a good wife.
That's what I said. That's what I asked Emily. Emily said, if you're on 17 leading the Masters, she said, hell, if you haven't on Sunday leading the Masters, she said, I ain't going to call you. I'll call you when you're done and say, here's a picture of your brand new baby, happy being your first dad. She goes, ain't no way I'm calling you. Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm saying is Scotty's probably about to back up. The field's about to catch up to Scotty because he's going to regress. And I honestly kind of hope he does. I hope that he is out there being a dad and doing whatever. But what that means is there will be no dominant golfer.
Yeah.
So it'll be very competitive, mediocre golf is what it's going to be. Except pretty soon, our boy Tiger is going to be in a golf cart, playing on the Champions Tour, beating them fools by 15 strokes. And the whole world is going to start watching Champions Tour golf. Because if you put Tiger Woods in a golf cart at Augusta this week, I'm telling you right now, there's a good chance he's in the top 10.
I agree. I agree. I think the thing that killed Tiger this week was his iron play wasn't great and his putting wasn't great. And all that is just it's just repetition.
Yeah,
The
it's
drive from
also,
Tigers was beautiful this weekend.
but it's really hard to putt, especially on tough greens when you're tired
Yeah.
and when you're hurting.
Yeah.
You're talking about finite 100th of an inch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That goes away when all you're thinking about is, oh man, if this goes in, I have to bend over and pick this ball up. That's what's going through his head starting on Saturday.
And
He did good.
he hasn't played a competitive 4 rounds of golf in over a year. Like you
Yeah,
can play as much scrimmage golf as you want at your own course. If you're not playing in a competitive tournament with fans and pressure and stuff, like, it's a different atmosphere. And I know Tiger's Tiger, but still you got to
I,
get back in the
I
groove.
think I think it's 100% physical. I think he just it's like playing golf in the Rocky Mountains. That golf course is
It's nuts.
up and down, up and down. There's not a flat spot on that whole property. And he was great for 2 days when Tiger was right there at 1 over for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
No Winston, no whatever.
In
But
some of
then
the
by day
hardest
3,
conditions we've ever seen at Augusta with the wind.
yeah. But by Saturday, he was just done. Like they showed a video of he was putting icy hot on his back on the course, and you could see the big pain patch on his back while he's putting. The dude is held together with chicken wire and screws. Like he has been through it, and he looks like he could wrestle in the WWE.
He's in great shape.
He's in great shape, but those joints and that back, and Clay Harden be the first to tell you, you feel great on Monday, and on Tuesday you can't get out of the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think you put that cat in a golf cart. He can drive up to his ball, get out and hit it, get in his cart and go to the green, get out and putt it. They're not going to touch him. They're not going to get close to him. He's going to win every event.
Or if he goes to a golf course a little bit flatter, might or might not have 3 majors coming up on pretty flat golf courses this year. I'm
Listen,
not saying he's going to win it, but
top of the list.
I, I think he'll be in
I'll
contention.
never say he won't.
No, no, and
I'll never say he
I'll
won't
never
because here's what
cheer,
there is.
and I'll never cheer less hard for Tiger on a Sunday when he's 25 shots back than I would if he's leading the tournament. Like I watched I wasn't home and I didn't watch it live, but I went back and watched every single shot Tiger took this weekend just because that's what got me into golf. Like that's why I love golf. That's why I love golfing is Tiger Woods. And you can be damn sure when when his clothing line comes out on May 1st or 4th or whenever it is at the beginning of May, I'll be having a hefty delivery to my house with all the brand new Sunday Red Tiger gear.
Do they make Sasquatch sizes? Is he making?
Oh, I gotta sew them together. I gotta sew. That's what I've always said that about Tony Finau. I'm also a massive Tony Finau.
Tony Fina.
Not only do I like the way that he plays golf, but I like the dude he is. Like he takes his family everywhere. Like that's just cool. He's a good guy.
He's a chill guy, man.
Yeah, he is. And
He's
he's a
big though, right?
big dude. I'm like, Tony, A, why don't you have a clothing line? And B, some of the merch that you sell, why is it not in big and tall? I know your tall ass isn't wearing just a normal extra large shirt. You are long, dude. Like, come on, get some.
You know who else is a monster?
Guys. Who?
Matt Kuchar.
Matt Kuchar update.
Large human.
Yeah.
Large human. I'll tell you off air. I'll tell you a Matt Kuchar story.
The biggest golfer I've ever seen is Jason Kokrak. Not a very popular golfer. Probably a lot of people don't even know who the hell that is, but Kokrak is huge. We went to the I don't even know what they call the goofy thing they have at East Lake at the end of the year, the Tour Championship or PGA Championship or whatever it's called, whatever that gimmick is. And Kokrak was the biggest golfer there. Kokrak was my size. Dude is a hoss. Yeah.
JD's son's big boy.
Yes, he is. Yeah. He's a big
and he'll be up
rebound.
He'll be up soon.
Yeah, you will.
And he will bring fun.
Oh yeah.
And excitement.
Yes.
And character to the golf course. There was none this weekend.
It was very beige. Very beige.
It was very beige.
Mm-hmm.
It was a beige tournament. Now, it's the greatest sporting event on earth. It's the greatest golf course on earth. It's the greatest golf tournament on earth. Mm-hmm. I'm not taking anything away from all that. But on Sunday of the Masters, on the back nine, I want to see birdies. I want to see eagles. I want to see drama. I want to hear roars. Was there a single Masters roar?
Not really. No. I mean,
So when I say boring,
yeah.
good golf. Scotty did Scotty things. It wasn't the magic that we're looking for. You could hear the fake birds way too much
That was
because there wasn't enough cheering.
horrible. The fake birds, whoa. Tone it down, CBS. Like that was outrageous. Outrageously bad. Like at one
I saw
point
it.
on the back nine, like around like the tee box for maybe 12 or 13, it was getting so obnoxious that I had to turn the sound off on the broadcast for a little while because I was just like, I
Tweet,
can't.
tweet,
I
tweet, tweet,
can't.
tweet. Caw.
I'm like, dude, we gotta pump the
Is that a,
brakes on this,
is that
okay?
a peacock? Are
Yeah.
there peacocks in Augusta, Georgia?
A South African ostrich call? What the hell's going on up there in Augusta?
We need kickball dad. All right, we need this goes out to kickball dad. Here's your clip.
Yeah.
Kickball dad. We need you to go back into CBS coverage of the Masters. We know you watched every second of it, and we need you to tell us if the birds that CBS was piping in are actual birds that are native to Augusta, Georgia, or if they got it wrong.
He
Kickball
would know.
dad's the one.
Kickball
Kickball
Dad
dad's
is
the guy.
100% no. That's a good call. I wonder if I didn't see. I wonder if he did anything special for the Masters. I would assume he would. Like, I
Uh,
haven't seen any videos yet. I love Kickball
I
Dad.
wouldn't have a single major sporting event if I didn't invite that guy. That guy's awesome.
He's the best.
He reminds me of my Uncle Don
Really, Kickball Dad does.
so much.
Really? Okay. I love
So,
Kickball
like,
Dad, man.
if Kickball Dad and Uncle Don got together, best friends. Immediate best, like immediate best. I don't know what Kickball Dad's relationship with Jesus is. I do know what my Uncle Don's is. But outside of that, I mean, the way that he does his sports drafts with
They're great.
just in his house,
Yeah.
like, with nobody there, just him. He's so extra.
He is. He's
And,
phenomenal.
but he's extra in the most amazing way ever. And remarkable athlete.
Yeah.
He's a remarkable
That
athlete
shocked me.
in every sport.
Yeah. Hockey, soccer, kickball, obviously. Like,
Throwing stuff. Like,
okay, Kickball Dad.
huge fan.
All right. All right.
He's
Let-
kind of our leader. Is Kickball Dad like our leader right now? Like, is he
Maybe.
like the dad leader?
Yeah. I would assume
It's close.
he's got some Dad Griller 3000s as well. You know he's got those New Balances on.
It's close.
Who else is
Well,
up
there's a close competition that we'll get into later with one of my things.
there? Okay.
We'll circle back, as they say in the corporate world, to
Okay.
this. What you got?
Mine is going to be short and sweet. But people who are unorganized that are supposed to be organizing stuff. Anybody who is in charge of anything that is unorganized and you are supposed to be in charge of anything really, just be organized. Like that aggravates me to no end. Just if you are in charge of something and you are the leader, whether it's a team lead, a boss, I don't care, just whatever, like a coach, whatever it is. If you are going to be leading people and be in charge of people, just be organized. Be organized. At least at that. If the rest of your life is unorganized, fine, whatever. But if whatever you are supposed to be leading or in charge of, be organized and organize that and have a plan and don't have wasted time. I see this a lot at youth sports practices. Luckily this year in baseball, we're not running into this. But like the people who are trying to run youth practices and not being organized and having these kids run around like cats and not be doing anything productive in the hour they are there, it just really grinds my gears when people are not organized. That's my short and sweet and simple rant.
Are you good?
Yes.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to see myself out on that one as the highly unorganized leader, or one of the unorganized leaders of Hometown Sports Media. I just needed to dip out. I had a feeling I was being attacked.
No, it
Barely.
has
Barely.
barely nothing to do with Hometown Sports Media. But yeah, just anybody who's in charge, man, of like organization is one of my big pet peeves. Like my brain doesn't work how other people's brain does, and it's probably because I'm in the spectrum a little bit, and where I'm constantly thinking about absolutely everything that has to be done the entire day and when it's supposed to be done and what time it needs to be done and everything that you need to do in preparation for that act to be done and be carried out seamlessly. And it just aggravates me when other people's brain doesn't work like mine does. So yes, it's short,
I
short.
think that's why you and I are good.
Yeah.
I think that's why me and you are good together. We're
Yeah.
like the yin and yang.
Yes. Well,
You're Bryson.
yeah,
You're Bryson, and I'm Savvy.
yeah, yeah.
God, I hope I hit it in the tree so I can do something stupid.
One of us is the filling in the Oreo, and the other is the actual cookie part of the Oreo. It pairs well.
And we are the Oreo.
We are the
And
Oreo.
nobody understands that, but we do.
Yeah.
We'll explain that one day on this podcast.
At one point.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had one that we were both sort of talking about rules in sports that need to go away. Anything that's either antiquated or just stupid. And we ran into it this week at the Masters that we were just talking about. So I got
Well,
I got a whole list, but hit me with the one that I know you're going to talk about.
what burns my butt is professional golfers keeping their own score. And it wasn't this week, it was in February. Jordan Spieth got DQ'd from the Genesis because he signed the wrong score. Wrote down the wrong score and signed the wrong score. I'm watching the Masters. Every time somebody swings the golf club, I'm watching on my phone. There is a tracer for where the ball's going, swing speed, spin rate,
Launch angle,
everything you can imagine. We are keeping up with. We can tell you how many putts everybody had in regulation. We can tell you how many shots they gained on the field with a certain putt. But we can't keep the stinking score.
I don't understand it.
There is an official on every hole.
At least one.
Every hole. Why do these guys have to play the game, not just keep their score, keep the person they're playing with score, go into the tent, compare their notes with each other after they just made a 7 on 18 and they're just want a beer and just want to go crawl under the rug.
I just want an
or they've been doing this for 4 days. They just want to go see their wife. They just want to go see their kid. That's all. It's done. I didn't win. I just want to move on. You make one little mistake on your scorecard that's like a putt card. It's
I don't understand
what we do when we go to putt, and you're disqualified from the tournament.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. This is bad. That rule is as bad as the fact that Angel Hernandez is still employed.
But that would be like, can you imagine if you are a baseball coach in the MLB? I'm not talking about like rec or anything, but like the MLB, and you are the baseball coach. And to actually win the game, you have to properly keep up of runs, hits, and errors. And if you don't, then you don't win the game. Or like a basketball team that has to keep up with every single point that's scored. Free throw, three-pointer, normal field goal. And if you don't have the right score at the end of the game, or if your score doesn't match the other coach's scores, then you get disqualified. I don't understand that. There's a lot of stuff in golf that I think needs to stay there, so the tradition of golf doesn't go away. Like especially a lot of stuff at the Masters, but like electronic scoring, why not? It's just easier. Why not? Why not?
And the players should have nothing to do with it.
No,
there should be somebody at every green with an iPad. They're walking by, and the guy with the iPad goes, "I got you for a 4 and you for a 5. Is that what y'all got?" Yep, that's exactly what we got. Doop, doop. On to the next hole you go. Yeah. Like, that's it.
And there's cameras everywhere now. So you see every shot of everybody's golf round.
Thank God.
It's not like it's a secret. I'm with you on that.
And you can listen, we do it in high school baseball and in high school basketball and in the major leagues. Tonight at this high school baseball game, there will be a person in the Bremen dugout and a person in the Adairsville dugout with a scorebook keeping score.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be somebody else running the scoreboard, which is 100% not official.
Right.
And then if there's an issue, there's another person keeping the official book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that matters. They do the same thing in basketball. How can we do that in basketball in high school? And yet Jordan Spieth is getting disqualified from a professional event because he couldn't keep his own score right.
And like if Bremen has the wrong score tonight, just say they think they have 4, but they only have 3 runs for some reason, and they confer, and they're like, "Oh no, you have 3 instead of 4," or whatever. Bremen doesn't get disqualified from the game.
Right.
It just changes their score. Like, why?
Thank God they don't.
Like,
thank God they don't, because the game changer stats are kept in each dugout. Let me tell you something, folks. Them things are wrong. You ain't
So
never seen so many hits that should be errors.
there's officially no Villarica pitcher right now on the pitching staff that has a loss. So despite us having 2 losses, no pitcher
How
on.
did that happen?
I don't know. Do you know who is keeping the game? Usually it's one of the assistant coaches doing the game changer for Villarica. Do you know who is keeping it on senior night?
Will Wallace.
Will freaking Wallace. I was telling Coach Verlin Best, I said, I'm not taking any stats from this game seriously. I said, Will has probably given us 10 more RBIs than we deserved.
Yeah. The Will was 7 for 7. Batted once.
He didn't even play. Hey, shout out to Will Wallace, man. Shout out to Will Wallace and Cam Bolton. Both of them came out on Sunday to our little Villarica youth football conditioning thing and went and talked to some of the kids and everything. Like that was help run some of the drills. Like that
How
was
awesome is that?
that's pretty cool. Will Wallace, who didn't get home until about 2:30 a.m. Saturday morning from a 17-inning baseball game, and then as soon as he got done there, slept for maybe 30 minutes, and then went to a recruiting visit at Georgia Tech, got back, and then Sunday morning he's out there, spending his free time helping the youth of Villarica. Like shout out to Will Wallace and Cam Bolton. That's pretty awesome.
17 innings. That was part 2 of a doubleheader, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just 17. How long was the first game?
About 2 hours. So
how many innings?
Seven. It went
7 innings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you called 24 innings of baseball
in about 7 hours. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that Will wasn't the only one getting patted on the back. You personally drove to Woodstock and called 24 innings of baseball alone.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and
way to go, buddy.
Shout out to Leighton Heineman. Caught every single inning.
You're kidding. He refuses to get out from behind the dish.
Yeah.
It's on him.
Yeah. That's what I was telling Emily.
It's on him.
We were talking about because Villarica has a really good backup catcher, Ben Gardner, who's an awesome guy and a great family and a really good catcher. And Emily was like, I can't believe they didn't put in Ben. I said, can you imagine Grayson, our middle son, in a doubleheader of a game in the 11th or 12th inning? I said, would you go to him and tell him that he's got to come out for Ben? Like, I don't care he's not coming out of that game. Like he's not in him and Leighton, very similar mindsets to where, hey, I'm a D1 catcher, damn it. And we are in a dogfight up here against a really good team. Yeah. Leighton Heineman, 24 innings, caught 24 innings in about a 7-hour period.
He was having more fun than anybody.
Oh man.
It's tough to catch a blowout.
Yeah.
You can't pay attention. I mean, but in a game like that, buddy, you're on your toes. He was exhausted. He slept great, but I guarantee you he was having the time of his life back there in a dogfight.
His mama was talking to me after the game, and she goes, should I drive him home from Villarica High School? And I was like, that might not, I don't know. Like,
maybe.
That might not be a bad idea. Like, I don't know how he's walking to the bus. Like, yeah, straight battler. So continue.
So you got a rule that needs to be changed?
Yes, I got a few. I think some you're gonna agree with, some you won't agree with, but I got quite a few. One that I'm gonna continue your golf vein, the scoring thing. I'm gonna go with hitting out of a divot after a beautiful drive down the middle of the fairway. It's one of the golf rules that I hate. Obviously, we don't do it when we go play weekend golf. But I think like if you hit in the rough, this rule is null and void. If you're in the rough and in a crappy situation, sorry about it, hit it in the fairway. But if you hit it in the fairway and you pipe it 320 right down the middle and it somehow ends up in a divot from yesterday or a divot earlier in the day, I think you should be allowed a club length left or right to get it in a good position, because you shouldn't be punished for something that you really had no control over and that you did successfully anyways in the first place.
The point of the fairway is a good lie.
Yeah. And, that doesn't happen much at the Masters, obviously, because they go out and replace like every single divot that's made on the course every single day because they're freaks at the Masters. But like these other courses that you go play at, or the PGA Tour plays at, like, they don't always get replaced perfectly overnight because they're not Augusta National. So, yeah, clean lies.
This 3-inch by 1.5 inch, this 3-inch by 1.5 inch bunker that I just hit into wasn't on the scorecard.
Yeah. And yeah. So that's my number one. That's the one out of all of these I think I hate the most, that I want changed the most. Number two.
Here's the one I hate the most.
Oh yeah.
Here's the one I hate the most. Let's go back and forth.
I like it.
70-year-old men being required to wear full on baseball uniforms in a major league dugout. I don't want to see Bobby Cox in a uniform. And I get why they do it, I think, just for uniformity or whatever, but like it's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Pull over, get them a pull over and a nice pair of track pants that's approved by Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's made by Fanatics so you can see through them or whatever. But like you can put them in just good looking casual athletic wear that looks better than old fat men in baseball uniforms. There's no other sport where the coach dresses in the uniform. What if they did that in figure skating or gymnastics
Or soccer?
What if Bill Belichick had to wear Danny Amendola's uniform on the sideline? Andy Reid. What if
Oh,
they put Andy Reid back in them pants from the punt, pass, and kick
got a
and a
helmet on
helmet?
too.
Yeah, like it's dumb. I don't understand it. And Bobby Cox, who I'm not a fan of, he wore spikes.
Yes, he did.
Where are you going, Bobby?
He's got to get traction when he gets out there and gets thrown out, man. You got to get a little traction, get a little
He's got to
acceleration.
have traction when he's aiming for his wife. I want to lose your footing.
So
you
that
already had a bottle of scotch. Can't miss.
that is also on my list, so I can cross that one off because we are both in agreement on that
Should
one.
be.
Yeah,
Cheers.
I hate that. At number 2, I have down without contact in college football. I hate that rule. Like, I think there should be more uniformity between college football and NFL when it comes to some rules. I hate the down without contact rule in college football. Like, if you go down to one knee, you can get back up in the NFL and continue the play. If you're touched, you can't. But in college football, I think they should change that. I think they should change. I don't know the reason why they have it different than the NFL. I am down with if your knee touches, you should be able to get up and continue playing in college if you're not touched, just like in the NFL.
I'm a firm believer that when they go to the 2 super conferences, which isn't that far away,
Pretty close.
that they should just play NFL rules. 100%. Because you are the minor leagues for the NFL. That's the only thing you're there for, is to make money and be the minor leagues for the NFL. So you just adopt their rules because that's what you're doing.
I like the 1 foot in college and the 2 foot in NFL because it's professional league. It's the pro league. Like, it should be a little bit harder. And I feel like they're a lot more ticky tacky on personal fouls in the NFL and pass interference in the NFL than they are in college. So I'd like to keep that not as scrutinized in college. But I mean, other than that, I can't really.
Here's one.
Yeah.
If I challenge a call and I win, I don't lose a challenge. I get to keep it. It's not my fault you screwed up.
Agreed.
Why do I only get 2 challenges? If I get them both right, I still only get 2 challenges. If I get one wrong, I lose a timeout.
You should be able to challenge.
So I'm punished.
Wrong.
I'm punished for getting one wrong, and for getting one right, I'm just, oh well. Hope we don't miss another one.
Sort of
out of them.
Non-rewarded. Yeah, you get the call, but you lose the challenge.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Another one. I don't think you're going to agree with this one. I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with this one, but I hate it.
Bryce, there's a bee in my house.
Oh, it's that time of year.
He ain't got long for this world. He's gonna go meet B Jesus as soon as we're done.
Spring season. So yeah, I don't think you're gonna agree with this. I don't think a lot of people are gonna agree with this, but I hate it. It's in baseball. I hate intentional walks. I just hate it. Like if I hate it. I don't know why. I hate it. I'd outlaw it. I hate intentional walks. It's a coward's way out. I don't agree with it. Pitch to the guy. Try to strike him out.
How?
That would be like if you intentionally let a guy catch a ball. I don't know. I just don't like it. Go after the guy. And if you want to walk,
how do you outlaw
it? Just say you can't do it. But you can still, you can still walk a guy by throwing 4 balls outside of the zone. But I hate the intentional walk where they just send it in. It's like, yeah, we're going to intentionally walk this guy, and the pitcher doesn't throw it. Make him throw 4 pitches. I don't care if it's 50 miles an hour outside, but throw 4 pitches.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because you could make a wild pitch.
Yes. Yeah.
There's still a play happening. You can steal a base.
I've seen times where they try to walk people and they accidentally throw a strike and the dude hits a meat missile into the 35th row in right center field. I don't like them just saying, hey, we're going to intentionally walk this guy, put him on. I don't like that. Make the pitcher throw pitch. If it's 50 miles an hour, yeah.
I'm done.
You got any more? Because I got two more.
Go.
All right. I don't like this one. I don't know how you change it. I don't know what we would go to if we got rid of this rule, but I think it's too much of a punishment. Fumbling out of the back of the end zone for the offensive team. I I don't like that rule. I don't know how we fix it. I don't know what we do to change it. I just feel like it's too much to make a turnover. Like I don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
I know how you fix it because
How
this
we
is my
fix
number one thing that I didn't put on my list.
Oh,
It is the rule
how we fix this?
in all of sports. You just put it on the 20-yard line.
That's what I was thinking. Like 20, 25,
You
30.
just make it a touchback.
Yeah.
And whatever the down it is, it's third down from the 20.
Yeah.
You're still in field goal range, but it's a punishment for stretching the ball and you take a chance and it goes out. But it's not a turnover.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is it a turnover?
The first
If
down
I
marker
fumble
remains
it,
where it is.
if I fumble it 1 inch before the pylon, it's my ball at that spot. If I fumble it 1 inch farther and it hits the pylon, it's your ball at the 20.
Yeah.
No, that's dumb.
I hate it.
Back it up to the 20-yard line or back it up to the 10-yard line. Give them a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah.
A 10-yard penalty. It didn't have to be the 20.
I
They're on the 1.
And if say it's a 70-yard play and they accidentally fumble it, put them at the 20 and make it first and goal from the 20. There can still be punishments for fumbling the ball, like there should be, but it shouldn't be a turnover. I hate that rule, man. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, it's
I agree with you 1,000%.
and my last one goes to basketball. This infuriates me. You should have no full timeouts in the last minute of an NBA game. You should have like maybe 1 or 2 30-second timeouts, and that's it. I hate sitting there in NBA games in the last minute lasting half an hour because we are calling timeout after timeout after timeout. And these guys who haven't drawn up a play all game because the NBA doesn't have plays anymore tries to draw up a play to best the other team. Like in 1 or 2 30-second timeouts per team. And if you have 6 going into the final minute, you lose 4 of them because sitting there for full timeout after full timeout after full timeout just takes the momentum and the excitement away from the NBA games, and it infuriates me.
And most people only tune in for the last 3 minutes of the NBA game anyway.
Yeah.
That's when it starts.
Yeah.
So the number one dumbest rule in baseball is pitchers wins. It's so dumb that there's 2 losses apparently at Villarica that nobody's lost. But pitchers win-loss rules. I can pitch a perfect game for 8 2/3 and leave in a scoreless game. They bring in one dude, he throws one pitch, gets a pop out. We come up, hit a home run. That guy gets the win.
Yep.
That guy gets the win. I got to fix this. You want to know the fix to this?
What's that?
At the end of the game, the official scorer picks the phone up, calls down the dugout. Let me talk to the manager. Manager picks the phone up. You won. Congratulations. Who gets the win?
Yeah, I don't mind.
I'll give it to Bobby. All right. There you go. Because that guy knows who won the baseball game.
Yeah.
That guy knows who won the baseball game. Nobody cares about wins and losses anymore anyway.
No.
So
it's an antiquated stat.
Eliminate that. There's no reason a middle reliever needs a win.
No.
Like, it's not going to help him. He saw 3 batters. And he gets the win because of just how his team happened. It's dumb.
It's stupid that starters have an innings requirement in the MLB to qualify for a win, but nobody else does. A middle reliever can come in and pitch one.
You got to pitch 5.
Yeah, you got to pitch 5 innings.
One batter.
Like, I understand if you want to make him 5 for a quality start or a quality win stat, fine, whatever. That's what's one of those analytic BS things that they do in baseball. But like, why? I don't know. I don't like that. And also in baseball, what I don't like, I don't know how you fix this, but I think it's dumb, is if a pitcher gets replaced in the middle of an inning and there's runners on second and third and a relief pitcher comes in,
inherited runs.
Gives up a double in the gapper and 2 guys score, but then gets out of the inning. That reliever that gave up the 2 RBI double, he doesn't get any earned runs, but the pitcher that wasn't even in there to give up the double gets the earned runs. I think it should be half a run.
They should split it.
That's weird. Exactly. Yes.
Split it.
Yes. It should be half a run for both pitchers. Yeah. I think that solves it. But baseball homer.
Too complicated for baseball where they can explain to you what WAR is and all that crap. But we can't do that.
Advanced WAR. And I don't know. I don't know. Like, baseball is the worst sport with antiquated stuff that doesn't matter anymore, like Angel Hernandez. Like stuff just becomes
Oh,
antiquated.
and the worst one of all, baseball writers voting on who gets to be in the Hall of Fame
I mean,
instead of baseball players.
yeah, yeah. I like having the Baseball Hall of Fame being exclusive and the Hall of Fame meaning something, unlike the NBA and the NFL Hall of Fame, which they just let anybody in. But the fact that Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame, like, oh, what the hell are we doing? Yeah, and Andrew Jones is not in the Hall of Fame.
Del Murphy, that guy.
Yeah, I, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Cal Ripken Jr. says repeatedly that this guy right here is the best outfielder of the 1980s. Not the best center fielder, right fielder, or left fielder. The best outfielder of the 1980s.
Yeah.
He won 2 MVPs on the worst team on earth.
We're terrible.
And he's not in the Hall of Fame. And he is the opposite of a lot of these guys that they're arguing about getting in. He is the king of the mountain when it comes to character.
Yeah.
Like there's no better spokesman for baseball than that guy. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Andrew's going in next year, by the way.
He better. Andrew is the greatest defensive outfielder I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. And possibly ever. Yeah. Older people say ever. I'm just gonna go with what I've seen from I started liking baseball in about 92. So from 92 to 2024, Andrew Jones is the greatest defensive outfielder I've ever seen. And it helped that he pumped like 50 home runs a couple seasons. So
yeah, and he hit one in the World Series when he was 19 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand why Andrew, Dale Murphy, Pete Rose, like there's so many players that should be in there.
And Irk Russell. Put Irk Russell into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame too, since the College Football Hall of Fame is cowards.
I don't understand that. College Football Hall of Fame lets in everybody. Like
there's a rule that they are standing on business. You have to be a head coach for 10 years of official whatever. The dude won 3, started a program from scratch, from nothing, begging for helmets, and won 3 national championships in 8 years from scratch. But because he wasn't a head coach for 2, and then he left in 89, knowing the 89 team was better than the 88 team, or left in 90, knowing the 90 team was better than the 89 team, because he didn't want to leave his assistants bare, or else he'd have won 4.
Still don't,
because they won that year without it.
Still don't let them
in. But they're not. But if you go and look down the list of college football coaches in the College Football Hall of Fame, there's dudes in there that coached 3 years.
How are they in there?
Because it was before the rule or what? It's just stupid.
So
the
dumb.
fix to this is easy. If Kirby Smart, and this is, I'm making this plea to you, Kirby. If Kirby Smart and Nick Saban get together and go play golf one day, and they invite a camera, and the 2 of them stand there together and they go, it is absolutely ridiculous that Irk Russell is not in the College Football Hall of Fame. We, 2 of the greatest college football coaches of all time, feel like it is a no-brainer, because I guarantee you both of them feel that way. It would
absolutely.
It would be taken care of.
Yeah. Both of those guys are smart enough to know that Irk Russell should be in the Football Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he was also a defensive coordinator at the University of Georgia for over 20 years and won a national championship there.
Well, I don't know why that doesn't come into play. Like, why can't he get in through the defensive coordinator there? Like that just I would
should be able to get in
coaching. Just 10 years coaching, whatever it is. DBs, I don't care what it is. You don't have to be a head coach for 10 years.
I need this fixed, because I live 45 minutes from the College Football Hall of Fame. In that building is Tracy Ham and Adrian Peterson and Greg Hill. I want to go in there and see them.
Yeah.
Is Greg in the hall? I think Greg's in. Greg's not in. He should be in.
I'm pretty sure he is.
I want to go see their displays. I want to go to the College Football Hall of Fame, but I refuse to walk through the door. I will not walk through the door until Coach Russell's in there. I stand on business.
Give them their money.
I walk by the door. I've walked by it, but I will not go in, because his sons are still alive.
Yeah.
Like this means something. Not only does it mean something to his family, this means something to tens of thousands of Georgia Southern alumni. People like me who grew up with him, who got into football because of him. Like I'm glad I made it 5 weeks without going on a Coach Russell rant. Like, it burns my butt. You want to know? Just go look at my Twitter profile. It's in my hand. Like,
End up there.
it is an absolute travesty. And he was everything you want in a football coach. He was everything you want. Half these teams use all of his sayings. Big team, little me. That's Coach Russell. Like, next. I don't want my blood pressure.
Last week we got the I-75 HOA rant, and today we get the College Football Hall of Fame not putting Irk Russell in their rant. I like it, man. That's
the pinnacle.
That's two back-to-back good rants right there from you that I knew were coming.
I held back. I held back on this one. I could do 3 hours on this.
It's absurd.
I got stats that are here.
Yeah, it's look at Irk's.
So I had a thought.
Yeah.
Do what?
I said, look at Irk's coaching tree. That should tell you right there.
It's pretty good one.
That he's a Hall of Fame coach. Yeah. It's pretty good one as an understatement. Pretty absurd.
Dude, listen. Dude started a football program from nothing. They didn't have footballs.
Yeah.
They didn't have money. They didn't have helmets. The reason that we still ride to this game in a yellow school bus is because he reached a deal with the Bullitt County School Department or the school board to buy a yellow school bus for $1 so he could get his team to practice.
And still, probably
he went to the high schools and begged for leftover gear. He went from business to business to business to business, giving the same speech, which I can give you. We are Georgia Southern. Our colors are blue and white. We practice. I got the whole thing down pat. Same speech. It's awesome. And raising money to build this thing. And then in the very first year, they were eligible for postseason play. He won a national championship in what very possibly could be the greatest college football game of all time, which incidentally, the Georgia Southern Eagles and the Furman Paladins from South Carolina went to Seattle, Washington, and played football.
Makes sense.
For a national championship.
Makes sense. Total sense.
Because NCAA.
No.
And then he turned around and did it the next year again. Then he waited 2 years and did it again.
They didn't play Furman. And who did they play in year 2? I don't remember.
Oh, God.
I don't remember. It wasn't Furman again, I don't think.
He's Alcorn. Can't get you, son of a.
The Alcorn State? I don't remember. My mind is blank. That was 88, wasn't it?
No. 85, 86.
Oh, 85, 86.
85's Furman.
Yeah.
85's Furman, which is just Tracy Ham. Have you ever watched that? It's on YouTube. You can watch the whole game.
Yeah, it happened before I was born. I've watched the entire thing on YouTube. Yeah.
The 1985 D1 2A national championship game is one of the greatest football games in history.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it wasn't for Boise State, if it wouldn't just be a no-brainer.
And I feel like it gets forgotten all the time when people talk about what the greatest football games or college football games of all time are. Like, that should be up there in the top 5 of greatest college football games of all time.
Yeah. And performances.
Yeah.
Tracy Ham was a god to me. And all right, my brain is not working. Who in the heck did we beat in 86?
I don't remember. I don't think I've ever watched that.
I watched every second of it, but I was 7 years old, in fairness to me. And I was at a lot of the other ones.
1986 D2 National Championship.
D1 2A.
D1 2A. If I can spell, that'd be really good here.
It was not a close game. We beat them by like 3 touchdowns.
Beat the
Arkansas State. It was Arkansas State.
Yeah.
It was Arkansas State.
Beat Arkansas State by a couple of points.
48 to something.
48-21.
Was it?
48-21.
Yeah. What?
So Georgia, once again, Georgia Southern, Arkansas State, not as close as Furman, but not very far away. went up to Tacoma, Washington for the national championship.
Yeah, Tacoma's where the other one was, not Seattle. It was back to back in Tacoma.
Tacoma. Like
They won the bid. They won the bid. How did they win the bid? Like, do you not know football NCAA? How many teams from Washington are going to be playing in this thing? How many West Coast? Probably going to be a lot of Southeastern football teams. I'm sorry. We're just better at it here. We just are.
Where is Nicholas State? I don't know where that's
Nichols.
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 Nichols State. Where is Nichols State?
If I had to guess, I'd say Indiana.
I'm
going Indiana. Final answer.
Gulf Star Conference. Why doesn't this tell me where it's at? Where is it located? Oh, Louisiana.
Close.
Yeah, I was looking at all these teams like Tennessee State, Georgia Southern, Nichols State, Arkansas State, Eastern Kentucky, all Southeast schools. But we're gonna have the national championship up in Tacoma, Washington. That
the farthest west I can think is Youngstown.
Nevada. Nevada was in here.
Thump them too.
Beat them in the semifinals.
Old sweater vest. Old sweater. Well, we beat Youngstown in the national championship game.
Yeah, Youngstown.
That's where the run. That's where the run happened. I was there.
Yeah. What year was Youngstown?
And that was in Chattanooga.
Oh.
So 2000,
2000, I think. Because I think he
2001.
No, it wasn't 01. Was
one of both.
He wasn't 01 because he was.
We only win back-to-back national championships. It's a rule. We just win them back-to-back. We've got 6. They're all back-to-back.
It was in 2000 because in 01 he was already at Ohio State, so it had to been 2000. So yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah, well, hey, yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah, we
ran him out of town for you.
Parlayed that into a national championship at Ohio State. No, too.
He could win at that level, but he couldn't win at the highest level. By God,
he won back-to-back at Youngstown. He did he win? He won a
I think
we won a few at Youngstown. I don't remember.
Until he met Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Woo.
Woo. All right. So let's get we've complained. We've complained for about an hour. Not an hour, about 45 minutes we've complained. For 15 minutes we talked about awesome high school baseball. Let's get to our happy thing. Our happy thing for the week. Our positive thing. Always want to end our podcast, our vlogs on a positive note here at Bro Therapy. So what you got for your happy this week?
I had a happy thought that occurred to me this morning as I was having my breakfast and I was scrolling through the social medias. I saw pictures of Travis Kelce and the Taylor Swift at something called a Coachella.
Yeah,
I think that's a music festival.
Big music festival.
And they both looked so happy. And immediately I thought back to last weekend to his big brother Jason Kelce in a luchador mask with his boy Lane Johnson jumping in the ring at Wrestle Frickin' Mania and helping Rey Mysterio win a wrestling match. In blue jeans, work boots, and no shirts, and a luchador mask. And I had this thought. You ready?
Yeah.
I don't believe there is anybody on earth that a college male wants to be more than Travis Kelce. He is the hero of that entire, let's say, 17 to 27, right? Yep. Travis is like living the life they want to live. And Travis is living the life he wants to live and is living his best life. And I'm thrilled for him.
Yeah.
But everything about that gives me anxiety. There's no part of that I want. None. Jason Kelce,
yes,
is living the life that every single dad wants to live. Yes. He is our hero. This guy doesn't care. His wife just shakes her head like, God, here he goes again. But there she don't. She's right there. He's got 3 beautiful little girls. Nobody cares when he takes his shirt off in public and drinks beer. He can do no wrong. He gets to go do all these amazing things. And he doesn't have to play football anymore. Last week, he had Arnold Schwarzenegger giving him advice about the best way to kind of lose weight and whatever. And Arnold's like, I'm not worried about you. You lift a lot of weight. I'm sure you're like, Arnold is sitting there telling him, dude, you're a stud. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Arnold
Schwarzenegger, our hero from the 80s and 90s action flicks.
His
Yeah.
His absolute hero.
Yeah.
Like they almost got in a fight on New Heights one time because they were talking about who should be the president or who should go talk to the aliens or something. And Travis was like The Rock. And Jason almost went through he was like, you shut your mouth. It is Arnold. Period. End of story. Like he is a huge he's like all the way in on Arnold. So like he's got that going. And I just had this thought about these two guys who are like polar opposites of each other.
Yeah.
Who are brothers, and their relationship's got to be better than it's ever been.
Beautiful. Their
Who
relationship
are living
beautiful.
two completely different lives, and that there's these two different segments of men who look up to the other one and then look at the other one and go, ooh, that's weird.
I don't want to do that. Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Anyway, that was my weird thought of the week.
There's not a bigger fan of Travis Kelce than Jason Kelce, and there's not a bigger fan of Jason Kelce than Travis Kelce.
True.
Like that is the pinnacle of brotherly love right there. It is awesome. And me being a dad of two boys, like that is what I want my sons to grow up to be. Like, you know, I'm going to be your biggest fan. You're going to be my biggest fan. Like we are in each other's corners 24/7, no matter what. That's cool. That's what I like about the Kelseys. But yeah, you're spot on. My happy thing this week, something cool that happened this weekend, once again with my family. Both boys had baseball games this weekend, and my grandmother got to come up from. She lives in Tampa, Florida. The boys' great grandmother, their only living great grand relative, great grandparent, got to come up and watch them play baseball this week. So that was my happy thing. They came out, watched two games. Boys won both of them. Youngest caught the entire game, and the oldest pitched 3 innings. And they got to come up, and my oldest hit a home run on home run, couple over.
No,
dude. So his
no.
my oldest's nickname is he's about as fleet of foot as I am. We're not fast, us Sparlings.
Did he hit the baseball and
Damn
touch
right.
all 4 bags?
Sure did.
End of story, son.
Well, his nickname,
Big Fly.
His nickname is Flash Gordon on the team because he gets his speed from his daddy. So every time he hits the ball, everybody in the dugout goes, Flash! And the entire dugout does it. So he's coming around and we're all singing Flash. He's ringing around third. He's really good at sliding. I don't know what went through his brain, but his slide into home was more like a ninja karate kick towards home plate and just fell on the ground.
Effective.
I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" And he was
effective.
Like, "Yeah." He was like, "I don't know. I don't know what was going on."
Put the run on the board, big dog.
Yeah, I put it up there, pal. So that's my positive thing. Yeah, my grandmother got to come up and watch some baseball.
That's awesome. And it just occurred to me that my real positive thing happened last Thursday, which is when we released the pod, and so we didn't talk about it.
Oh,
so I want to do it. So my daughter, who's not playing sports right now, is an artsy kid.
Yeah.
And she's in the 7th grade, and she's in a musical at Bremen Middle School, and they did the Addams Family.
Oh, cool.
She's a part of the cast. She's not a part of the main cast. She's a part of the chorus. She did a lot of singing and dancing, and it was awesome. But my
love the Addams Family,
dude. This play is
that sounds
awesome.
Like so much fun, dude.
It was great. There's 300 people in there, sold out, one show, amazing. But there is a group of girls that I consider my girls that are her best friends. So it's her, and then there's Jalen, who since kindergarten has been here, and then there's Mia, who since 2nd grade's been here, and then there's Tilly, who came in 2 years ago. And they're I call them the big 3, right? And she has other friends, but those are the 3 that have been for the longest and always are, right there. Well, Tilly was Morticia. She was the lead.
Nice.
Right? This kid blew the roof off the joint. And the kid that they had a 6th grader playing Gomez, who had a perfect accent and held it for an hour and a half, even while he was singing.
At 6th grade.
The point that my brother-in-law goes, "Where's he from?" He thought it was his real accent. The whole cast was amazing. My kid was amazing. She was fun to watch. She's up there with Mia dancing, and they're dressed up like dead people, having the time of their life. The whole show was great. But what I was not expecting was these two to walk out there and They blew everybody away. Like there was nobody there whose jaw wasn't on the ground. And all I'm sitting there thinking is, Tilly's going to be a senior and this dude's going to be a junior. I think Bremen's won 10 straight literary state championships. Good luck
Yeah. Add a
with
couple
the
more to the board.
musical and one act. Good luck the rest of the region when those two are up there with another 4 years of experience under their belt. And this kid's voice drops. He goes through like he's a sixth grader.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to see those kids, to see my kid. My kid has braces. And because of braces, we don't often see her teeth when she smiles. Right? Like
I remember that stage. Yeah.
you remember that stage?
Oh yeah.
I've got pictures of my kid from that night that were I said smile for the picture and I got the full Liz. Like I got the full cheese. And just looking at those pictures makes my heart warm because she was so proud and she was so happy. And they were so I remember when I picked her up on Wednesday from the last dress rehearsal, she got in the car. I said, "How was it?" And she said, "Tilly cooked." No, Tilly ate. When she said Tilly ate. It's the first thing she said. It wasn't we did good, we did whatever. She's bragging on her friend. Which I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I saw Tilly eat. It was like, yeah, Tilly ate. Buffeted it up. So just, just proud of all of those kids, but really proud to see my kid doing what she loved, doing it well, and being it was 10-minute standing ovation at the end of this thing.
That's awesome, dude.
Like never did I expect what I walked into.
Yeah.
Like it was really fun, really entertaining, and there's some really talented kids that put on a show and I had a blast.
I'd have totally came out and watched that, man.
Couldn't get a ticket.
Addams Family.
You couldn't get a ticket.
I have to knock one of the old ladies out over the head outside of the thing to get a ticket.
Yeah, it was the teachers couldn't get tickets. Their teachers didn't see it. It was packed house.
That's so cool. That's awesome. I'm surprised they only did one show. Usually stuff like that, they have like 3 or 4 showings. Well,
the Mr. Sweeney is the chorus teacher, and he's young, and Sweeney's awesome. And this is not a criticism of Sweeney. In fact, it's probably a compliment. Sweeney will learn as he gets older that he can't do everything.
Yeah.
So Sweeney is chorus teacher, and he has to do chorus stuff. He is a soccer coach. He's British. He's from England.
Oh.
He's like 24, 25 probably.
Okay.
He teaches guitar at the school by his own choosing. So like once a week, you'll see 15 kids walking into the middle school with guitars. And then he does this musical. And so I just think it was a ton. And somehow these kids were showing up at 7:00 in the morning to practice. It was the only time he had soccer. They're in the soccer playoffs.
Right.
So but he got it to the point that me and my wife were walking in thinking, this is going to be a disaster. I don't know how he pulled what he pulled out of these kids. It's amazing. So I don't know why there wasn't more than one showing, other than maybe he was too busy with everything. Maybe they couldn't get the building for the round and down. But there was one showing, and they blew the doors off the place.
That's awesome.
And you know what? It's middle school. Let's go out there. Let's do one. He's probably expecting it to fall flat, right? You don't want to book 3. Like we were all expecting to go in there and just gut our way through an hour. If we're honest,
I
be supportive.
Yeah,
rah.
Oh yeah, great,
none of us. There wasn't any, maybe Tilly's parents because they know what she is.
Yeah,
we didn't. Maybe the Strongs knew, but nobody expected to be entertained for an hour straight. And listen, they had to pause after every number because the applause was so loud. Before they could start the next scene, the place was raucous. It was great. It was anyway. That was my happy moment of the week.
You'll have to know
my kid and her friends.
That doing being British, you'll have to let me know if they do Sweeney Todd, because if they do, I will go on the black market and get some Sweeney Todd tickets because I love.
All right.
A lot of people don't know this about me. I'm a huge musical fan. I love musicals. One of my favorite.
Me too.
Genre of movies and plays and stuff. I love musicals, man. Yeah. Sweeney Todd, Sound of Music.
I hope they do Feather on the Roof.
Oh, that would be good. That would be
audition.
Do you think you could convince them to do Book of Mormon? You think they'd allow that in the school system?
Probably not. Probably not going to get past.
South Pacific.
By the way, in the history of handling a troll, in
Yeah.
the history of handling a troll well, shout out to the Mormon Church for Book of
Yeah.
Mormon.
Yeah.
Do you know what they did? Do
No.
you know how they handled it? So this
No.
show is on Broadway.
Yeah. It's huge.
This is a musical pretty much making fun of them,
Yeah.
made by the South Park guys.
Matt Parker and Trey
They took
Stone.
out a they took out a full page ad in the middle of the playbill. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints wants you to know we love you and want to invite you. These are the closest places that you can come visit with us and hear about what we have to offer. We hope you enjoy the show.
Props. All right. Okay.
You nailed it.
That
You nailed it. We can take a joke.
Yeah.
Why don't you come hang out with us? Well, you know what? I'm a lot more likely to come hang out with somebody who can take a joke than somebody who gets their panties in the wad. Church of Scientology. I'm looking at you.
Props. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't.
that's pretty cool.
You know that? Have you seen that South Park episode about make love not Warcraft, about them making fun of Warcraft?
I've seen them all.
So like the people that made Warcraft commended South Park, and they're like for how accurate everything was in that thing. They're like, yeah, we love it's given. They use it as like a template for like other people that want to make stuff about Warcraft. They're like, they put in so much detail and
watch South Park.
Yeah, South Park. Yeah, they're like, yeah, go watch South Park. Look how much detail and everything. Like the trees were in. They were like, they paid attention. They know this game in and out. We are so gracious for them to give the publicity to Warcraft that they gave, because they were so accurate with everything they did, and a very good depiction of what Warcraft is. And I'll raise my hand and say that I am a Warcraft player, and I do not anymore. Not anymore. I have given it up. But yes, in my earlier days before children, I did play a little bit of Warcraft. Little bit of Warcraft. I played a little.
I don't think anybody played a little bit of Warcraft, buddy.
So listen, I might or might not have close to 5,000 hours in Warcraft.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody played a little bit. In fact, that's why I didn't, because my brother-in-law did, and I watched him and went, I do not have time for that. I have an addictive personality, and I am not going down that rabbit hole.
Oh man! All right, Casey, you got anything to wrap up the number 5 podcast, number 5 here on Bro Therapy? You got anything else to add?
This is way longer than I thought it would take us to get canceled. So congratulations, buddy. We hit the over. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. Oh, hey, we were going to do a new segment today. We were going to start a weekly segment of show and tell.
Show and tell. Yeah, show and tell. Let me go over here and get my show and tell object.
I'll get mine too.
Actually, this is one of them. So our good friend, my wife teaches at Glanton Heinzman, and her friend Brandy, her husband works security at the Masters. He worked with Victor Hovland for 2 days, and then he was with DeChambeau on Saturday and Sunday, and he always picks up whatever we want from the Masters. So I got this. You can't really see it on camera, but it's a big old massive flag that'll be up behind me at some point in the next few episodes. Got us 2 hats. Got us a nice big sweatshirt, and got us a coffee mug, and I think maybe a garden gnome. But yeah, that's my show.
You got a Masters garden gnome?
I think
don't forget your hat.
I think Emily said we got a garden gnome coming, so that's our Masters swag that we got picked up courtesy of Seth. Thank you very much.
When the gnome comes in, you got to bring it to show and tell.
Oh, for sure.
All right. When I was at Inner Harbor 3 lifetimes ago, the principal of the school was a man named John Wilbur, and I think he still works there. It's not called Inner Harbor anymore. It's called Youth Villages in Douglasville.
Yeah.
This man has dedicated his life to at-risk teenagers and making sure they're getting a good education, because he likes teaching, but he really likes chainsaws and working in the woods. And I love him. He's just awesome. One of one. John Wilbur is a one of one. And he had bought a can of salmon for some reason, and it was sitting on his desk forever. And he just couldn't bring himself to eat the salmon. And somehow he had this can of salmon. And every time I'd come in his office, he'd try to convince me, hey, man, take that salmon home and eat that salmon. No, John, I don't want your salmon. Like, this went on for months and months and months.
Bizarre.
Finally, one day I said, this was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. John, dadgummit, I'll take the can of salmon if you sign it. So this is my John Wilbur can of salmon. It says, best wishes, Jay Wilbur. It is one of my favorite possessions. I will have it for all time. There's no one on earth who has probably a autograph or an autographed can of salmon, but there's
Yeah.
certainly no one that has a John Wilbur autographed can of salmon. And it is what Coach Russell, see Coach Russell right there?
Yeah.
It's what Coach Russell stands on top of. That's how important it is to me that Coach Russell bobblehead is on top of John Wilbur salmon can.
Supported by the salmon can.
Two best men that ever lived, maybe. He
Oh
has a baseball, incidentally. We made a trade. He made me sign a baseball for him, Governor Casey Bass, because he was
governor.
convinced I was going to be governor of the state of Georgia.
I like that. I like
Boy, was he wrong.
yeah, just a couple votes close, not very far away. Not very far away at all. All right, this has been episode 5 of Bro Therapy with Bass and the Bear.